What are the Detroit Pistons playoff outlook? I want to dive into that in this video, and I want to start with the New York Knicks. What does it look like if the Detroit Pistons really line up against the Knicks? I know there's a lot of Detroit Pistons fans who are kind of excited about the idea. I am one fan who is not, because when I actually think about the potential of this Knicks team versus whom they have been throughout the course of this season, versus what they might look like by the time the playoffs roll around, I think the Detroit Pistons are going to have all they can handle with the New York Knicks, and I want to dive into that in this video. But before I do, this video is brought to you by Bridges and Stone's Family and Relationship Care. Look, we all need somebody who can be an extra set of eyes, who lends insight and advice and potentially teaches us new skills and strategies for effectively navigating our lives, whether it's school, whether it's work, whether it's relationships. We all need a coach. Well, Bridges and Stones is a place for you to receive professional coaching and to be able to get the support that you need to live the life that you want. Remember, none of us make it alone. Contact Bridges and Stones for your free consultation today. The link is in the description box below. When I think about the matchup against the New York Knicks, the first thing that comes to mind is discipline. You see, against a team like the New York Knicks, you already have guys who are winners, guys who have won at the collegiate level, guys who have been all-stars, guys who have been in the playoffs. You have veterans who understand how to win, who are also still in their physical prime, meaning their late 20s, their early 30s. These are guys who are winners. Guys who are known for being a part of winning basketball, whether it's OG Anunoby with the Toronto Raptors, whether it's Karl Anthony Towns and being in the playoffs with the Timberwolves, or whether it's Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges who won championships over at Villanova, right? Or whether it's Mikal Bridges getting to the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns. Right? Like, these are guys who've been there, done that, understand what it takes to win. Mikal Bridges just hit a game winner against the Portland Trail Blazers. Their confidence is high. They know what it takes to win. They are not going to beat themselves. Discipline is the key word when it comes to a matchup with the New York Knicks. You see, the first player that I want to talk about is Jalen Duren. This is probably where a lot of this is going to key on. The New York Knicks, when they brought in Karl Anthony Towns, what they envisioned was replicating what happened in Minnesota, where you had a double big lineup of Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns that allowed you to still had rim protection and rebounding, while Karl Anthony Towns was the offensive fulcrum who could stretch the defense out. And then you have perimeter defenders like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby who are able to somewhat take the attention and defensive stress off of Jalen Brunson. So in other words, they can switch everything and they have plenty of length to get into passing lanes to be able to help him out. So even if he gets caught on an island, you still have a lot of length to help and recover. Here's the thing. Jalen Duren is 6'10". He's 6'10". One of the things that we've seen throughout his early career, his first few seasons, is that he struggles against really big offensive lineups. Not even just offensive lineups, offense or defense. He struggles when a team can go big, when they can put 2 7-footers out there like Cleveland, Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, Milwaukee, with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez. Right? He struggles. Why? Because he's undersized for a center. He can hold his own, yes. He has the ability to, but does he have the discipline to? And this is something that I've been keying on in a lot of my videos when I talk about how do you unlock Jalen Duren, why he must become more of a focal point. Will the Pistons invest in developing his talent? Because of this feature right here. If he's going to be undersized, he has to figure out a way to put pressure on them instead of sitting back and allowing them to put pressure on him. If Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley are going to tower over him, he has to say, hey, I'm here too, and you're going to have to contend with me. The main way he does that is on the offensive end, first and foremost, because many of us have probably noticed when he has a strong offensive game, he plays great defense. When he's getting it rolling offensively, he doesn't get into foul trouble as much, and he's far more on his toes, keyed in the right place at the right time. The Detroit Pistons are going to have to feature him, especially when he has opportunities for mismatches against someone like a Karl Anthony Towns. If he can begin to put fouls on Karl Anthony Towns, it begins to take Karl Anthony Towns out of being offensive focused. It begins to diminish his level of aggression in terms of trying to score and get to the basket, because then he can quickly pick up a charge and all of a sudden now he's in foul trouble and he has to sit down. You have to figure out a way to put pressure on the other team's opposing front court. JB Bickerstaff is going to have to figure out a way where he can create opportunities for Jalen Duren to begin attacking the basket and looking to get his own shot. I think what we are going to see, and this is what some of the teams have shown us already, is they're just going to start front-facing our shooters. When we run that action to get our shooters open, what they're going to do is say, we're just going to cut that off altogether. And Jalen Duren is going to have to read this, keep his dribble alive, not pick it up, and face up. And he's going to have to try to attack off the dribble effectively. To do that, he's going to need to develop. But here's the thing. Will he do it in time for the New York Knicks? I'm going to pause on that and continue. The next person that I want to take a look at is Ausar Thompson. He cannot get into foul trouble at all. Like, not even a little bit. Like, not even a oops, I reached and I didn't know. No, we need you for 35 plus minutes a night. Period. Ausar Thompson cannot get into foul trouble. You need Ausar Thompson putting up stat lines of 15 points, 8 to 9 rebounds, 4 to 5 assists, and somewhere around 3 to 4 stocks per game. That's steals and blocks combined per game. Right? You need to have him an undeniable imprint on this series against the Knicks if the Detroit Pistons are going to have a chance to win. Not that they're going to blow them out or play really well and get them out of there in 6 games. No, to even have a chance to compete in this series, Ausar Thompson cannot get into foul trouble. He is their sole defensive perimeter defender. He is the one guy whom you can deploy against any other team's wing perimeter defender and say, hold that down with no help. And know that he can do it. You don't want Cade to have to do it. What you want is Cade to be able to lean on Ausar Thompson on the defensive side so he becomes a support. So he can be put on somebody like OG Anunoby or Josh Hart, and he can kind of relax a little bit. He knows that the guy he's facing is not a primary scoring option. But here's the thing. It's not only on the defensive end that he needs to be there to be able to show up and help. He also needs to be able to play that point forward role so that Cade Cunningham does not have to worry about guards picking him up the entire length of the court and wearing down his legs, and then he can't hit threes like he did tonight against the Washington Wizards. You need him to be able to finish out games, which means that he has to be able to get a reprieve in the game. Cade is going to be playing 38 to 40-something minutes per game in the playoffs. Now, here's the thing. We all know that Cade's legs and conditioning is not where it needs to be. Ausar Thompson is going to have to step up. He's going to have to demand the ball. He's going to have to be secure with the ball, bringing the ball up the court, pushing tempo, pushing pace, getting the ball up the court, getting touches into the paint, collapsing the defense, and kicking out to shooters, kicking out to Tobias Harris, kicking out to Tim Hardaway Jr., kicking out to Cade Cunningham, setting up Jalen Duren. This is what you're going to need to see from Ausar Thompson. You can't do that if you're in foul trouble. The last person that I really want to key in on is Cade Cunningham. Cade is going to have to trust his team. He cannot try to take over for a full game. He's going to have to execute the offense, lead the team in the execution of the offense, meaning he has to get guys involved early. He needs to defer to Ausar to run the point, defer to Jalen Duren to set things up at the top of the key, and score in incremental, intentional moments. to either propel the team and his team, the Detroit Pistons, in an offensive charge where they're trying to go on a run, and he propels that, or he's going to have to stop a run from the Knicks. And then at the end of the game, he's going to have to close. In order to do that, he is going to have to read the game. He's going to have to start thinking the game methodically, scoring intentionally, knowing the mismatch he's going at and where he's going to look for his points. I think he will show up. But the question will be, will Asar Thompson and Jalen Duren show up? They will be the keys to the Detroit Pistons having even a chance to win in this series. But as always, I want to know what you all think about this series against the New York Knicks. If I had to guess and put down a bet, I'd probably have the Detroit Pistons losing 4-2 at best, if not 4-1. And that's only because I think they are going to struggle with discipline. That's what they've shown me all season long, that they struggle to remain disciplined. And if you got Isaiah Stewart out there playing against Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns, Isaiah Stewart's 6'9". He's not going to last long against that type of a lineup. If you have Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley as your primary wing perimeter defensive options for long stretches because Asar Thompson is in foul trouble, Cade Cunningham's going to get worn out quicker, and they are going to get demolished on the perimeter. And you're going to see Jalen Duren probably subsequently get into foul trouble quickly as well. It's going to have a ripple effect. Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, you have to show up and stay focused. But you haven't necessarily shown me that for long stretches. We still have, the next 15 to 20 games left. We need to see it. We need to see it. Because if not, the Pistons are going home. Quickly. But as always, I want to know what you all think. What do you think about the Pistons' chances against the New York Knicks? What do you think are some prime keys that need to be focused on for the Detroit Pistons to have a chance, even to win this series? Get at me in the comments section. If you enjoyed the video, smash the like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications. If you made it this far, I'm going to ask that you put a basketball emoji and then let me know what team you want me to do next. Who do you think the Detroit Pistons might be matched up against? The likely teams left outside of the New York Knicks is the Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks. Which team do you want me to do next? Milwaukee? Indiana? Maybe there's a team in the play-in, like the Atlanta Hawks or something, that you think that they might end up facing. Get at me in the comment section, and I'm going to get at y'all there. Appreciate y'all staying with me this length of the video. I'm going to get at y'all next time. Peace.